This is Beyond the Struggle. My name is Mark. I am your host, and I am with Jesse A. We'll say, and we are going to touch on base on his recovery and where it all started for him. We'll start off like that. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and let's talk about where it started for you.
All right, everybody. Well, I'm Jesse A. And started off. My dad passed away August 17th of '94. I think I was about 13, 14. I want to say 13. Grew up in the city of Ontario, Southern California. Flew up to Seattle, Washington. Stood with my dad. He passed away. I flew back, like I said, August 17th of '94. So we two.
How old were you then?
About 13.
13?
Yeah, about 13. So I always lived with my dad, so it really hurted me.
Yeah.
I always lived with my dad. My mom and dad got divorced, I think, when I was about 7. So they separated. I got in trouble growing up in Ontario in the school district. So my mom sent me out to him. And he passed away. And then I came back down 2 weeks later. So I want to say September of '94. So my birthday was going to be in November. So I was about 13. So I was going to turn 14. So when I came back down, my mom had remarried. Didn't know the dude. So, just hated everything. They want to know
Everything about it. Yeah.
everything about it.
Yeah.
The whole situation. I just lost my dad. And then I come home and I got this guy right here, I'm 14 years old. So it was F this, F that. And, you know what I mean? They want to hear nothing.
Like resentment towards your mom as well?
Yeah, it was hurtful. I don't want to say I hated her.
Yeah.
Really, really hurt and disappointed. I'm very, very angry, very bitter. So then when I get back, my older brother then, Mike, he's already doing his thing, gang banging and just going so forth. And I just wanted to feel loved and, and just be around certain people, certain individuals, my brother, my cousins, and they were already gang banging. So then, I was like, oh, well, and I started tagging it. I remember how that started. And the guys from the neighborhood, hey, you can't be doing that. Either you're going to be part of us, or every time we see you, we're going to jump you.
And this was still at 13?
At 13, yeah, So this happened in a matter of, flash. As soon as I got back from Seattle, touch base in Ontario and, get off the plane. And this is,
Right away.
oh, man, it happened so fast. Now that I'm older, I see it happens. I said, and, they go to school. And, like I said, just trying to do my own thing. And next thing I joined the gang and got introduced was first started smoking marijuana. I was smoking marijuana. I remember with my buddy Fernando. And we get off the school bus. I remember going back to his house, they right in the neighborhood, off California and Mission. We're right there and we're in the back and we're smoking weed. And his dad drives up. And I remember he tells me, hey, run to the water hose. Just rinse out our mouth and grab the big red chew, the big bubble gum.
Right.
We eat the bubble gum and, and started off with the marijuana. And then, like I said, my mom got remarried. So I was staying with my godmother, my Nina, my mom's older sister. And I was living with my cousin Ray, my cousin Shuby, and my cousin Lorraine. So I was really close to them. And my cousin's already selling weed and, all this other stuff. And I needed a pair of shoes. So I tell him, hey, can I get some shoes? And he tells me, go take this over here and do this and that and come back and bring me the $100. I remember he gives me the 100. And so we're smoking weed and I start hustling. And my Nina catches me with a pound of weed in a grocery bag. That's when it was regular stress. She catches me and she tells me, you need to stop that because it's going to lead to other things.
And this is still all while you're 13,
going to be 14. Man, like fast, Mark. I'm telling you, very, very fast, man. Very fast. And
Now before all this series of stuff happened, like before the split up and everything like that, were you were you involved in were you around drugs and stuff like that? I mean, obviously,
what's funny is you say that my mom and my dad never did drugs.
Yeah.
My dad had a cirrhosis to the liver from alcohol.
So he was an alcoholic.
Yeah, he was an alcoholic. But,
but that was after the split up, or was that?
No. So during that, so I have an older brother. My older brother is from different dads. But as I was growing up, and it's funny you say that because not when my brother was over here, when I brought him over here, we're talking about that. It's you ever seen dad drunk? And told him, bro, I never seen my dad drunk. I never seen all that, Mark. As far as I know, my dad used to always go to work every day. He was a good father, right? But I know they separated because of the alcohol. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
I didn't see none of that. Anybody smoking marijuana or doing crystal or doing cocaine. I couldn't, none of that, right? I think all that. So let me get to that, because where all the addiction came from, I want to say, I don't want to say I want to blame it on my dad's death that I got addicted to drugs, because I knew right from wrong.
Right. But you already messing around a little bit.
I was already smoking marijuana. And my aunt telling me, hey, you're supposed to go to the other things. By the time it gets to the other things, well, she tells me that now I'm about 16, 17. Okay. So there was a
3 year gap.
Yeah, there was a 3 year gap. After she catches me with it. And then she tells me that by then I was already doing I did a line of crystal. That back then it wasn't even meth. It was that
Crystal.
The regular stuff, And so I started doing that. And then I remember, it was lovely that I wanted that to run around. And, now I'm running around with my homies. I'm from the hood. You know what I mean? I'm so sad. I'm man on top of the world. I ain't got to worry about going home. I've already left the house. I left my now I can say stepdad then. You know what I mean? I was a stepdad. I didn't want to say that then, but that was the reality. It was my stepdad. F them, F my mom. Here's this stuff. I'm running wild. I'm doing what I'm doing, dirt in the street, doing hustling and doing the gang shit. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Doing all that with that, what that carries in it. So then later on, as we're doing that, I'm about 17, 18. Then I get introduced to PCP. So I start smoking Sherman, Orwell, dust, we're smoking.
Now this whole time that this is going on, are you still living at home, or
I'm
already on the street?
The home on the streets is my mom was here, Mark. I ran the streets. As soon as I got off that airplane, it was, my name was man, hey, you ain't telling me nothing. My dad, I grew up with my dad, so my mom in my mind is, I grew up with dad. Dad's gone. You got no say so anymore. Right? You get what I'm saying, Mark?
Yeah.
I'm a kid, but I'm thinking that, So mom is trying to hold me back, but she can't. I'm doing what I want to do. My mom's husband at the time, he's telling me something. You're not my dad. F you, blah, blah, blah. Boom. So I wanted to, there's times where I was going to fight him. My mom's like, no, just let him go. So I think to avoid all that, my mom was just letting me run. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't want to say nothing back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get it.
My mom was always been a good mom to me. I know that. You know what I mean? So I ran wild, did all that. And then, 17, 18, then I started smoking shirt, doing what I'm doing and, to numb the pain. So like I said, I'm running wild doing all this. And then, I meet my first baby mama. I'm 17. She's 30, so I meet this 30. Yeah. 17. She was 30. So I'm telling her I'm 18, 19. I'm a little kid. I don't know if she believed in me or what, but that's just,
yeah.
So I meet her. She has a 2-bedroom apartment. She already had 2 kids. I'm a youngster, 17, serving place to lay me out in place of, you know what I mean? I got homies coming to the pad. I'm doing what I want to do. She's letting me do that. I'm a youngster doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She likes youngsters. So, you know what I mean? It's all there, right?
Right.
So I ended up having a kid with her, my daughter, Jessie, she's 24 now. I got my daughter, Justine, with her, who's 22. And then I ended up having a son with her.
So you got 3 kids by now.
3 kids with her. Yeah. My 3 oldest ones with her. And then, so
now did she use or?
She used, okay, no, we used. Okay, then I started using heavy real bad on the speed. I left the weed alone. My ex woman, you know what I'm saying? It's funny because I tell her to this day, hey, Nina, do you remember when you tell me? And, when I flew out there just too long ago, I told her that I brought that up and she gave me a big, I said, hey, that always stuck with me. You know what I mean? That always stuck with me. It's always going to go to something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so me and her are using, and, like I said, I thought I was, I'm saying, I'm doing it. I got a 30-year-old girl, a 2-bedroom pad. I got these kids. I'm at that time doing the big, serving big, using that bad domestic violence comes. Boom. So all that's the first time, you know what I mean? I ever went through that domestic violence with anybody. And I'm 17, about to be 18, have my first kid, daughter Jessie. And then we separate. Then we get back together a couple of years, like I think a year gap, 2-year gap. Bam. And I get her pregnant again, daughter Justine. And then still, messing around. Both of us are getting high. Bam, another charge again, domestic violence. And now this time, cops are looking for me in my city. They're going to my mom's, my Nina's, my cousins. They're looking for me, domestic violence charge. I'm like freaking out. Oh, man, I hear all these mother homies. Oh, it's bad paperwork. You can't be doing that. Right? You know what I mean? But I'm all doped out, and I'm not even thinking.
And this is still 18, 19.
19, you know. So I'm doing all this, and I'm like, hey, dude, you know. So I get caught, and then again they catch me, and and there's pictures that what I'm saying, and it's not nice. It wasn't looking good, but I'm 18, 30 years old, so my mind is oh, she knew better, she's older, she knows what time it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, blah blah. Because I'm a youngster, like, you know what, fuck with you, I know that that's with you, I know what doing that. So I'm thinking this in my head, and then like she can't punk me, this and that. You know what I mean? Right. Slip it. And they got all these pictures that they get me for domestic violence to create bodily injury on spouse or something. So what the heck? The public defender, oh, you're looking at years and blah blah blah. My mom comes, she's crying. And so I make a long story short. No, I'm not gonna say a long story short. Right that little gap period. So I'm sitting in the county, and I get a county year did. At that time it was 8 months, 20 days. I do that county year did, and then my mom, tells me to leave her, this and that. I get out. They put me on 5-year felony probation, this and that, domestic violence. Was there some anger management classes, so forth. And then I get out and I meet another girl, which was my daughter Brianna's mom. I meet her, Tanya, and I'm thinking everything's gonna be all good. And it wasn't. Same thing again, just getting high and meet another girl, got her pregnant, domestic violence again, and I'm going through this little repeating pattern with these girls that I'm meeting. Then I'm having all these different kids, Mark, and things started looking bad. I'm starting to smoke more sherm. I'm hanging around with the homies more.
And this is you're saying this is right after you get out now.
Yeah, after I get out, okay, I meet her right away. She had another older girl. She had her apartment. Same thing, I'm same thing over and over. Started smoking more sherm, doing more things out there in the streets that I shouldn't be doing. Started smoking sherm to get my mind off the things I just got done doing out there, certain things, and just to relax and calm down. Right. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah. I get it. So I'm not so, trying to knock off my toes just to relax, to forget mindful things. And I meet her, and she leaves me right away. You know what I mean, Mark? She ain't dealing with it. She wasn't dealing with it. No, she got high one time. You know what I mean? We got high one time. I messed up. I introduced her to it. That was the biggest thing. I got into it, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And, that was it. So I never met my daughter. That's all. I have I have this. That's my only daughter. I'll tell you that. Later on that part. Because I have 9 kids. So out of the 9, that's the only one I don't see. You know what I mean? That's the only one that I don't see. She lives in New York, as far as I know. I don't have too much of a Facebook. I don't go in there. I respect my wife, and she looks it up for me, and there's pictures. But yeah, so she remarried the mom. She has a dad that raised her. So I can't get mad at that. Because I've,
yeah.
You know what I mean, Mark?
Hey, I made some mistakes. It is.
Do is respect the dude.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
On that. And then, so that's baby mama 2. Baby mama number 3.
So right there, when you're done with her, you're about 21, you're saying about 20, 21?
Yeah, 21, 22.
Okay. And now you meet your third baby
mama. Okay.
And right now you're still doing, we went from bud to speed to PCP
and smoking sherm.
Yeah,
we're right there at that.
Okay.
We're still, that's what we're still down there. We'll do a little bit of shrooms and acid, but yeah, I wasn't really my thing. How it's, you know what I mean? The speed and then the sherm, I really liked that then. You know what I mean? I was loving the sherm.
This was the 90s in LA, and so yeah,
everybody was, you know what I mean? There was that people I knew around were all way, you know what I mean? That smoking, oil and smoking dust, you know what I mean? That sticks all day, all the time. Every time I was rolling blunts to my dope. I'll get them, thinking it was okay. Learning at first it was crazy because at first it was like, oh, then you start liking it and then controlling it, thinking that you're on top of it, Right. So we're on baby mama number 3, Allie. I meet her. I'm in Riverside. I live with my cousin in Riverside. So let me rewind that a little bit. So baby mom, I was telling baby mama number 2, after she left me, I was hurt. So I'm running around in San Diego. I'm running around tough down there. This is maybe 2005, 2006, around there. And so when I'm running around down there, I get introduced to a little bit of heroin. Okay. So I get introduced to a little bit of heroin after me and her separated. and didn't like it, didn't mess with it. You know what I mean? Really just took one hit off the foil, bam, and didn't mess with it, didn't acknowledge it really. You know what I mean? Didn't really pay attention to it, you know? So I'm doing speed, me tweaking, doing whatever I'm doing down there. I get busted. My cousin picks me up about 6 months later. I do 6 months in San Diego, down there in downtown San Diego. Can't remember the county. I just know I was in the county down there.
Right.
I get picked up 6 months later from my cousin. He tells me to go to a Victory Allergen men's home.
Okay.
So I go to a Victory Allergen men's home, right? Around 2005, around 2005 and 7, we go to Victory Allergen men's home. And when I'm there, you know, I started learning about the Lord, and I'm liking it, and I doing what I have to do, and I'm doing everything according to the men's home, to the group home, you know, that's helping people off the streets that are doing drugs, this and doing things that you're not supposed to do, you know. So they open up the doors for you to try to get you back on your feet, which they did, and then I just didn't feel it. So I'm running. I moved back to Riverside with my cousin.
How old are you at this time?
About 23, 24.
Okay.
So I moved back to Riverside with my cousin. We're right there East Arribas. And we're right there at East Arribas. I meet this girl named Allie. I'm working at K&N Air Filters through a temporary service. I meet her. I'm still down. I'm tweaking. My cousin didn't like the sherm, so he didn't want her around the house. The tweak was a little problem, but not too much. But he knew I was fighting. But his thing was, his little cousin was around him, and he knew I was safe. Right? You know what I mean? Yeah, but my cousin didn't mess around with no heavy drugs. So he's doing that. I meet her. I end up having a kid with her, having another kid with her. And I have 2 little girls with her. My daughter, Alyssa, Jasenia. Jasenia is about 18 now. Alyssa is about 16. So I'm with her all the way up to about 2009. We pick up me and her. We were boosting at the time. So we were going around hitting Kohl's and JCPenney's. And I was going in there. She'll be in the car. We would drop off my daughter, Jasenia. Jasenia was maybe about 8 or 9 at the time. So I did good from 2007 to 2000, maybe 9, 10, maybe a good 3 years with her. They mess around. They do nothing, trying to get my head straight with dibble dabble here and there. So get my head straight. And then I pick up a case. My daughter's at school. I have my little girl with me. We're in the car. So I pick up this case, and they get me for a possession and paraphernalia, and I had a felony warrant. So they take me in. They let her go with my daughter. And then later on in the long run, they end up going later on to the hotel room and getting the hotel room. I was at the Motel 6 in Chino. They hit it, and they snatch her up and my kids. So they get her. At the time when I got pulled over earlier during the day, they didn't run her name or nothing. But so happened to be when I get back over there to the county jail, you know, I had the Motel 6 key, and then everything in my wallet. So they go back and they hit the room. When they hit the room, they find some bud in there, and then so they get that. You know, now they have social workers there. So they take her in, and when she's in, she made a move. She called up my mother-in-law, her mom, and her mom went and snatched up my 2 little girls. Okay. So from 2010 to 2000, you know, I have my little girl, and then I meet another. I get out of there. My mother-in-law picks up my kids, you know, and when she picks them up, you know, I didn't know anything about it. So I get out, and like, I think it was like a 72-hour hold. I couldn't believe it. They were letting me out. I was like, what? So I get out. Well, in the meantime, I'm in the county calling my mom, don't let nobody get the girls, go get her, go get, you know, this and that. And so by then, but like I'm saying, my ex lady at the time, their mom, she already made her move to call her mom to go do all that. And so now I get out. I'm thinking I'm going to go back to the room because I had the room for a week, this and that. I didn't even know that she was even busted. I thought homegirl was ready to muck, having her thing. You know what I mean? So when I get out, my mom don't tell me nothing when I'm busted. But when I get out, my mom tells me, hey, Alisa came by, picked up the kids. So I was like, oh, what? So, you know, I was with her for about 10 years, ended up getting married with her. And I'm like, what's going on? This and that. So she tells me Allie's busted, and Allie gets out, get a hold of her. And she's like, yeah, my mom got the kids, but I signed over the kids to my mom. I'm like, what the F are you doing? What do you mean? Because I didn't want them to get in the CPS case, and, you know, this and that, we're going to lose. So at that time, I was like, blah, 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 because I'm tweaking, I'm high, I want to meet her. So I was like, F you.
So you went to jail, you got busted, They take the kids, she goes to jail, and then you're go to jail for like 72 hours, couple days. You get just enough to get hungry and kind of get your head back to, well, what the hell is going on, right?
Yeah.
And then you get out and don't even hesitate, right back to the same.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing I did. Is I remember I hopped on the I was at West Valley. We got buzzed at Chino Hills Parkway. So they take me, that's San Bernardino County. So they take me to West Valley. I get on the 61 bus. Had a little bit of Fetty on my books. Hop on the 61 bus. The 61 bus takes me right to the hood at San Antonio, in Ontario, right in the south. You know what I mean? I had to hit the train tracks. I'm right there in the audio, you know? Right. So I do my thing. My cousin lives right there. So my cousin Lorraine was always, she lived in my audio, but that was where I would go do my thing at. She wouldn't tell me nothing because her thing was, oh, I know you're share safe. And they know I'm putting all this poison in my body. I know myself, right? But the family always, you know, my family always loved me. I've always stood away, you know? So I meet her, but my kids, so I get out and I'm like, man, you know, what's going on? This and that, F you, blah, 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 blah. I find her all the way in Verdugo. So I'm in San Bernardino, mind you, I'm from Ontario. That's like I don't have a car at the time. So on the bus, that's like 2-3 buses. So I'm like, how you doing? Over here, this and that. Her mom stayed in Riverside. So I'm like, hey, what's going on? This and that, where are my kids? Oh, I signed over to my mom, this and that. And you're going to have to go. My mom told me that you're going to have to fight for the kids. What? Fuck you, what's in that? I was just like, nah, hell no. So I went and started getting higher more. You know what I mean? Higher more. And then a tragedy came by with my daughter Jasenia. So I never thought, Mark, this is helping me out to overcome this. And that's why I told you, you know, when you were telling me about this broadcast, I said, hey, you know, it's something good because I deal with a lot. And you want to know where I got addicted to. So I don't want to say this because I don't want to look, before coming over here, I discussed this with my wife. You know, my wife I'm talking to that I'm with now, you know, it's my partner, you know, and I don't want to, you know, but I always run things by my partner, you know.
As you should.
Exactly, you know, and this is something that, you don't just talk to anybody about. I trust you, but no doubt. And obviously, a little broadcast, you know, but this is something important that other people need to hear, and that's why I came here today, Mark.
Absolutely.
That's going to help me with my walk. You know what I mean? Because there's certain things that I haven't got over yet, and I'm not saying with my addiction, but there's things that we'll hold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with this, in the field of separation, my mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law, at the time, she picks up my kids, and, I'm going to court fighting them. And when my daughter just said, I had a friend named Frankie, I thought it was a good dude. My homie at the time, and my boy at the time, man, I did a lot of things with this dude, man, from good to bad, from bad to good, and things that could have put me behind bars for a long time, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And someone that I thought I could trust, and he has 2 little girls and a son, and you know what I mean? About hiding about this dude, you know what I mean? Because here I am running around, I was living in a hotel with 2 little girls, but this dude's, you know what I mean, doing the same thing that I'm doing, strung out the same thing I'm doing, but he has an apartment. So my mind was, he was good at the time, And anyways, but my daughter opened up to my ex-mother and told her that, homeboy had touched her. And, at the time I didn't know, you know what I mean, what to do. And, I lost my kids. I'm fighting these little bullshit cases. And then just, you know what I mean, their mom at the time, we were just together. I go to jail for 3 days. And just a matter of 9, I'm like telling you, not even a week in there. And just how everything I just and I lost everything so fast, so fast. And I was like, what the heck? A smack in my, is that or not a smack in my face? So all this is happening, and my daughter's, telling my mother all this, and now my mother all the time now, you know what I mean? Now I'm a bad person because this something happened to my daughter, and you know what I mean? That was your friend, and this and that. So, obviously, my mother all the time, she called the cops, you know what I mean? So by the time it all caught to me, she was already picked up. Right? Because now when I caught on it, now my mind is, you know what I mean? Us being back the way we are, let's go do what we have to do and say no more, right? So I'm doing that now. Now I'm slamming speed up. I got it, you know what I mean? I had an older homie, you know what I mean? My older homie that slam speed it, and go to the connects. And I would see him here and there. And told him one time, hey, homie, I told him, ran it by him. My older homie from my hood, and ran it by him, but tell him, I didn't get on with. So he told me, hey, look at man, I'm not going to do it for you, but And I would always see him do it. You know what I mean? I would always see him slide it. Well, it'll take a while.
So this is the first time now you're getting introduced to meat edges.
Yeah, I'm getting introduced to a straightforward edit. You know what I mean? And my mind is, I need to go do what I got to do as a father to protect my daughter. You know what I'm saying, Mark? Don't mean I don't call no cops. You know what I mean? I am the law. I'm going to go do what I need to do. This is my daughter, right?
Understood.
You know, so like I said, so I meet up my homie, and he's, you know, and I'm telling him what's going on, and I'm asking him, hey, can I get some permit? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, we need permission. You know what I mean? You know, done, you know, I should follow some certain rules and areas too. You know what I mean? Yeah, nights. So I'm doing that, and you know, he shows me the outfit right there, and you know, I have speed. I don't need the dope, homie. I just need to know if you can. I just need you to hit me or do the point where he was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. You know? So they call me Choco. So he like, hey, Choco, I'm not gonna do that. You're gonna do your own thing, all right? Well, I was like, fuck, this ain't gonna be ours. So I was like, Then I remember people just hitting it in their arms, skin popping. I'm like, oh, dude, I could just, you know what I mean? My mind was, I need to get high because I need to take off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm trying to get into this mentality of wickedness. Right. I need to go get it. You know what I mean? I need to protect my daughter. You know what I mean? I need to get this back. It's killing me, Mark. You know what I mean? Yeah. So all this is happening, and bam. So I slammed some dope. I remember that day, I started slamming, and then so forth. So I'm driving, doing my thing, looking for homeboy. And then my mother-in-law, at the same time, I'm going to these IVR, Inland Valley Recovery Services, to do some classes, parenting and drug diversion in your management. I'm supposed to be doing all these classes
from the stuff that happened previously.
Yes, previously. Right. But now she's stepping into remember I told you she snatched up the kid. Right. So now she's taking me to court because she wants custody of my girls, right?
Well, she sees what's right.
And she sees what's right? But in my mind is, oh, against my kids. These are my kids. I need to protect them because my daughter told you. Now you're telling me it's my friend, which I understand. The how? Right. Now, Mark, you get me?
Yeah.
So on my mind, I'm told, like I said, I'm only 24, 25, 26 at the time now. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I mean? Nah, you guys are all against me. You guys, you know, that's my daughter. Let me protect her then. Let me protect her. You know? So I'm telling my daughter, you know, why didn't you tell me? You know, why didn't you tell me? But see, little did I know, now that I'm sober, that was because of my drug addiction. See, she didn't feel comfortable coming up to me and talking to me because mom and dad were always doing their thing, right? And then now that I think about it, that's why she would never want to go over there. Because I'd be like, yeah, you want to go spend the night over there? And then later on, as things probably were occurring, she didn't want to going over there anymore. Right. But I was in my drug addiction that I'm slanging dope. I'm staying in a motel. I need somewhere safe. My girls need somewhere safe to stay while I'm out here on the grind. You get me? Well, I mean, her mom are selling the dope for the next week or two to pay for the room. You get me? Right? Not knowing all that, Mark. So I'm slamming dope, Mark, speed, left and right, swarms, you know what I mean?
How old are you at this time?
So I'm about 43, so I'm 43 now, so about my mid-20s, maybe 24, 25, 24, yeah, about 24, 25, you know? So I'm doing that, slamming speed, and I'm liking it, staying up, doing my thing. Home was busted. Now I'm just like going full force at everybody. Now my daughter don't want to cuss me. I got nothing to live for. Now I'm trying everything. I just want to go all out. So I'm going all out, doing what I have to do. Next thing I'm getting all these court dates to go try to get my daughter. I got nothing going on.
Yeah.
Got nothing going on.
Yeah.
So the last time that we had the court date, I didn't even go to the court. What I did is I just went over there to my ex-mother-in-law's house and just told her, what do you want me to sign? What do you want me to do? I'm done. I'm going to leave the kids to you. You're right. They're better off with you.
Right.
You know what I mean, Mark?
Yeah.
So I was being a smart ass though. You know what I mean? Oh, they're better off with you. Yeah, you're right. But reality, they really were though. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I'm just, you know, okay, cool. You guys want what you want?
Right.
Yeah, I'm no good. I'm the dad. You know what I mean? Oh, the bad guy.
guy.
I'm the dad that can't watch his daughter.
Yeah.
Protect her, right? All right. So now I'm like, well, you guys, I'm going to go get high. And that's it. So me and her split up. All that goes by. And so 2015 comes. October 4th. That was finalized, divorced, everything separated. That was it.
Right.
Now I'm just slamming speed, smoking sherm here and there, really going hard because you know what I mean, slamming dope. And then me back with the old homie again, and I tell him one time, hey man, I'm fucking happy, I'm high, wired this and that. And you know, so he tells me, hey, smoke a little bit of ganja. All right, so I take a hit off it, some heroin. I take off the hit off the heroin. You know what I mean? And nothing. take off another one. And I remember I started throwing up and getting sick. And then, losing my daughter, all that stuff going on, the sickness, the highness. So I just kept on hitting it because I remember when, cause I got my mom's older sister, my Aunt Arlene, and my Nino, rest in peace, my godfather Raymond, rest in peace. He died from heroin, from cirrhosis liver, and she's an heroin addict too. And I remember they used to always get sick, and I'd be like, hey, why you get sick? And as they got older, they told me what they were on. I never wanted to get sick. So like I said, so I was, now all this is all finalized, smoking a little bit of heroin here and there. And then I was scared to slam heroin because of OD. And I remember that day, I very little bit, you can go out, you know what I mean? That's two different things, snorting it, smoking it, and slamming it,
Okay.
just like speed, you know what I mean? I go in those veins, it's totally different, Mark. So same thing, I go I remember picked up a dime of some heroin, and I remember splitting that in half, and that half in half again, and that half a little bit more. I remember it's like less than a piece of the match head,
Yeah.
less, like real small. And then the whole 100 unit, all of that, it was all thick. I remember it. And then, that's when I started getting, so I started getting hooked on it. 2015 is going hard. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then I'm going to leave you with that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So at no time during 15, 16, all the way to 18, somewhere around there, you don't even get blessed. You don't get a break. You don't get, sometimes as addicts, we get breaks when we're in our full-time addiction.
It was funny. I know so much things out there that I hit the joint I hit the joint in 2008, I believe. 2000, let's rewind that. 2008, I hit the joint for the first time off that domestic violence charge from the first baby mama, who had 5 years down in probation. I've been running this whole time, like a good 10 years. I get busted, they send me upstate. That's before Tehachapi had flipped. Right? I get to Tehachapi, they sent me to the 3-yard gym, they sent me to the 4A. Okay, when they sent me to the 4A, I paroled, did 16 months in the hole there, popped off with a riot. I get stuck in the back right here with the brothers. We're popping off with the brothers. I get stuck. I put a little bit of work. I move up levels with the hood wise. I didn't know if we were going to get into that.
Well, I mean, what I wanted
to that, I do that. I get out the joint. I never got no break to your question. I ran hard on these streets, Mark. I lived on the streets, Mark. I stepped on the concrete. I put cardboard boxes on the concrete. I ran in San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange County, LA County, Victoria County, all the way up to the tip of California, which would be Weed, California, or Reed. I've been all up and down the Bay Area, Mark, for 20 years. So 20 years, my daughter's 24. I've been sober for the last 2 years. So when I got out here, so I've been away for about 20 years, getting high every day, doing heroin, really strung out from fits, really, really bad. I did heroin, I want to say a lot. I did a lot of heroin, and from 2015 though, as of 2 years ago though, was really when I went really hard. Really, really hard. OD once, my cousin Lorraine's house, she brought me back. And then 2015 comes, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 2019 comes, man. That's when I meet my wife
that you have
right now, Misty.
Right.
Yeah. And 2019, I meet her. My mom was sick. I get to long-term hospital, and I was all strung out. And it's funny because she was in a program. She was in a prototypes. I was all cut, man. I was tore up, man. Tore up.
But what you're telling me, this part of your journey right now is when you were at your worst, though, right?
Oh, brother. So when I met her, I was at my worst of my worst. I'd never kicked. So you said, earlier, you were telling me if you never get a break, then you go to jail.
Well, because every
3-4 years, that was.
Well, even a lot of times, as addicts, the thing that I like, for me, I had multiple chances to get clean and sober, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just being honest. And the thing is I remember at some point, and the reason I bring this up and ask this question is because there's a lot of times there's people out there that go through something and, you beat yourself up. You had a break, you had a chance, and you had kids that, dependent on you. And, you know, we don't think about, you know, I didn't have kids when I was on my run. So, you know, I just ran, you know, but, you know, hearing you saying, you know, cause, you know, to me, I never did heroin, you know what I mean? But I had a lot of homeboys and a lot of friends that did. And the reason I asked you is because, you know, from 15 to 19 or 15 to 18, you know, in that period, you know, I know that could probably do some serious damage. Well, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's sometimes people get breaks and they go to prison and they get healthy and get strong and get big, and then they get out and they run right back to the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, to hear you say, you know, hey, I just was running. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine when you get to the point where you meet your current wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
So, you know, those ones that do that, they're fortunate because they get that little break.
get the little breaks. Yeah.
They get that little break on their body, and you know what I mean, health wise, right, and so forth, right?
Right.
So me, I did it, and you know, by the grace of God, I have all my insanity, right? I can sit right here and conversate with you, you know what I mean, and answer some questions.
Well, for the most part,
You know, and extra stuff, you know. So, yeah, man, she was an angel, man. Let me tell you, it was I don't want to say love before sight, or none of that, because that failed me a long time ago, you know, for me. So,
yeah.
you know, I'm strung out. I'm up to no good. I am doing no good. I got nothing to offer you. I can't even go get me a room right now.
Right.
But I got a pocket full of dough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got a gun in the back, riding around on a bike. Mom's in the ER, just had a stroke. I get the phone call, and, you know, like I said, you know, I might have, you know, disagreed with my mom back then, but my mom's that's one woman that would always love you forever, no matter if you're in the right or wrong. You know,
Absolutely. I'm
totally out of that. So, you know, I've always loved my mom. My mom's been a pedestal in my life. You know what I mean? I love my mom. Lost my dad, and I got to treasure my mom. So she goes there, and I roll up on this bike. You know, I have this backpack. You know, you jump off the bike, and first thing, you know what I mean, you do is, I'm gonna light a cigarette. So I lit up a cigarette. Here comes this girl, go out the ER. Hey, excuse me, you have a light? Well, oh yeah, I got a light. Here I am, all freaked out. You know, oh yeah, hold on, we're trying to figure it out. But yet I have a hole in my mouth already lit, and I think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm nervous because it was like, I seen her, and it was like, you know what I mean? Oh my God, this girl was, you know what I mean? It was the outside, but this, I don't know what it was. It was just, and I haven't even said hi to her yet, right? I haven't even said nothing to her. Just, hey, do you have a lighter? Yeah. So, you know, I give her the light. We light a cigarette. I'm chopping it up with her. She chaperoned a girl there to the ER. So when she chaperones her there, you know, I'm chopping it over. Hey, mom, want to get something to eat? My mom gives me some money, and I jump in my mom's car. We go to Burger King. I remember, go to Burger King. We come back, and then my mom's, you know, getting ready to get out. So out of the ER, or we go to the room, go to a room in the ER. So I'm getting ready to take my mom to a room. So we get ready to leave it. You know, yeah, she was a big lifesaver to me. Let me tell you, never, ever, ever thought in my life that I was going to stop doing dope, heroin. You know what I mean? I never thought I was going to kick heroin. Heroin was, at that time, was my girl. It was something that I liked, something that I really loved, something that took away all the pain that I was feeling. And I was putting everything on the back burner. My kids, my thoughts, all my problems, it just took it away in a matter of seconds, you know. And me getting sick, I never worried about getting sick. I had a good connection, so that was the biggest problem too. Yeah, that was the biggest problem. That was my biggest problem. Was the homie. He was my biggest problem, you know. And he always took care of me in that world, in that life. You know, always took care of me. I mean, my wife Misty, and like I said, she was in a prototypes, and she didn't, you know, she's telling me, you know, her story, and, you know, oh yeah, my mom died of overdose. Whoa, did she? Well, my dad died of, you know, social security. Wow, we have something in common. We had all these things in common, but we did have nothing. We had all these things in common, but there's only one thing that wasn't in common, is that she's in a rehab, and I'm over here
Doing your thing.
out.
Yeah.
But she's liking me, man. She's liking me. You know, so we separate, you know, we go that later on that day, we both go separate ways. She has to go back to the program, obviously. I'm going back home to my mom's, you know, to take her back home. We go, or no, go to the room, and I spend the night at the hospital with my mom. Now I'm like, oh yeah, so I'm really excited. Oh, excited. I'm right there texting this girl. My mom was like, yeah, oh, that's good. Listen, I tell my mom she's in a program. My mom's all, don't do that to her. Yeah, you're all fucked up. Don't go out there. Don't do none of that to her. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that to this little girl. She's trying to get her shit together. All right. But I'm liking her. So she calls me up and tells me, hi, I'm going over here and blah, blah, blah. She would just literally, it was a trip because she would take, I had friends or some of her friends that would say that they had doctor's appointments and, she would have to be the chaperone. So that I will go over there visit her. Right, you know what I mean? In reality, she's in that at a sober, a drug facility, but rescue parole. She was over there, you know what I mean? Yeah. So in reality, it was a violation all the way around, all the way. Then I see her, she's telling me she's been to the joint, she's gangster with it. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, when I mean my gangster with it, is like, well, gangster with it, she was with it. She knows what time it is. There's no doubt. I'm like, man, this girl right here, yeah, everything I'm looking for. This is her, you know what I mean? And then she's just accepting me because I'm all doped out. Look at her, like this is like unreal. I'm like, good, is this gonna happen? So then she tells me, hey, I need you to come by my place because I want you to come visit me on the weekends. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm like, fucking score, yeah. You know what I mean, Mark? I'm like, fuck. So now I'm going to this place. Now I'm going to an orientation. I'm all strung out on heroin. Right? So I'm trying not to sit down because what happens with you, I'm gonna start nodding out, right? So I'm going to this orientation, but I'm right, I just said I don't get sick. So now this girl has me getting sick. So now I'm getting sick, Mark. Right. True facts. When I'm getting my Leah, I'm going into this orientation place, and I'm sweating and dripping and rain. Carl now drink water, Mark, and they're all looking at me, and then the lady tells me, man, wherever he's visiting, I wouldn't let him visit. I would just violate shit. If I was parole officer, I would just violate him already. Right. Which you probably need it. Yeah, So I'm like, man, so I'm busy, getting ready to visit her. And, I'm sitting like this with her across the table, you know what I'm saying? And so that's follow the rules, right? I can't be too close. I'm bringing her lunch, hustling ass off, Mark. Finding her. So you got a little bit of a purpose now. Yeah. Now I'm like, I see something I like, and I'm like, but this, my name, Mark, I've been with a lot, you know what I mean? I've been with females, you know what I mean? And I'm like, this is just something about, you know what I mean? My wife, Missy, there's just something about her, And I'm trying to figure it out, Mark. I'm like, what's the difference? And I haven't even did my thing yet with her. We're just talking, but I'm liking her. It wasn't just like any other girl, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, man, and I'm taking heroin. Now I'm staying down my cousin Lorraine. I'm like, yeah, my cousin Lorraine, then stay over there. She sees me kicking. She tells me, what are you doing? I'm telling her, hey, I met this girl, and I tell her name, Misty, and she got this prototypes, and she's like, what? Oh, and you better stop doing your shit before you're going to end up losing her. And she was like, to see you really likes her. You've already been told twice. I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, So so now I'm at the point where I'm going on Saturday and Sunday, and Friday night I'm getting high. Well, Saturday morning, I ain't waking up about 4 or 5 in the morning doing that fix. You know what I mean? Not getting up just so you don't get sick. So I don't get sick, right? Right. So I'm over there I'm like, hey, so I have visits with her by 8 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, by the time I do my thing and get loaded, 8 o'clock comes, I'm gouted out. We ain't moving. I'm doing my thing. They said that rap, girl. You know what I'm saying? But I'm liking her, Mark. Right. So I'm going through it. So I'm doing a lot more speed. I'm slamming speed. I'm like, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm going to slam some speed. I'll be all right. Now it's doing the opposite. So now I'm really kicking. So then, I start seeing her. We start, you know what I mean, doing our little personal things. She starts thinking out. We're doing our personal thing. I knock her up. She gets knocked up. And when she gets knocked up, she's all, yeah, I can't have the baby, this and that. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh shit, I got all this shit going on. I just had some shit happen with my other kids, right? I'm just doing this. I'm over here running around all strung out. I got nothing to offer. I got this girl pregnant. Then the devil started hitting me. How, it's her baby. You know what I mean? I don't want she's messing around with this and that. So then she tells me, hey, what? She's like 3-4 months pregnant. And then right before she can have an abortion, she tells me, hey, I have to have an abortion. I was like, what? Check it out, homegirl. I've been with women. I got kids. That's why I have so many damn kids, but I'm totally against abortions, whatever it is. But would you try to make this happen? I go, I'm looking, man. I'm strung out on heroin, but I'm down it and I'm willing to kick. Let's do this. So she's like, nah, I can't. She just got out the joint. You know what I mean? I had 4 or 5 years stretch to that place. So I'm like, oh, nah, what do you mean? Hell no. Now I'm like, fuck. I'm over here trying. I'm like, girl, I'm getting sick behind you. I'm trying to kick. I'm trying to make it happen with you. You ain't hearing me out. Right. So when she tells me down, then I'm like, fuck you. Yeah. right? So I go to you, I fuck her. Now I'm going to fuck you. Now I'm going to go high every time I see you.
Right.
So I start getting high every time I see her.
So what I want to do is I don't want you to go too far into your story with your current wife, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to interview your wife as well. And what I want to do is I want to bring her story up to this point, if you don't mind, if that's cool. That way, when I get you guys here, you guys can kind of tell a story together. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? I just being honest with you, and yeah, I don't want to cut the story off, is what I'm saying. But good. But what I want to do is I want the people to know your story and up until this point, which is pretty good. I think right now is a good point where we're gonna get your current wife's story, and I'm gonna bring her in, do a story with her, and then I'm gonna bring you both back, do a story with both of you guys, and then you guys can figure it out, because I think that's a good point, because I think shit's about to go sideways here. So I think that's a good point for her. Or she could get up to that point where she was in prison, got out, and and then we pick up from there on the story together, and then you guys can explain, in your guys' story about how it was, trying to deal with this addiction and this crap together with the kid at that, you know what I'm saying? And I think the people would love to hear that as well. But before I close this, I wanted to ask you a couple questions, if that's cool. Some of the things I want to ask you is, so when you started this pretty much using and messing around with drugs, we'll call weed drugs, because it pretty much is. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people make fun of it, but in all reality, it is a gateway for a lot of people. But before that, we were talking, and when your mom and dad were together, you pretty much had a normal lifestyle. Is that right? Okay, so tell me just briefly, just tell me what were some of your highlights when you were younger that you remember that you can sit back and say, like for me, for me, some people, what I'm trying to get at is when some people were younger, a lot of my friends, when I talk about addiction to certain people, they had their mom and dad, and, dad was a hard worker. Mom was, a stay home mom, or vice versa, or they both worked and you went to school and you didn't, and you didn't have it rough, is what I'm saying, and then something tragic happened, such as the situation with you and your mom and your dad splitting up, and it kind of screwed things up. So what I'm getting at is, tell me something that you remember as a kid that, that was good. We just talked about all this bad crap that happened, but tell me something good that you remember.
My dad was did a lot for me, my mom, and my brother, because, we were sign us up for baseball.
Now, I was going to ask you earlier. So originally you were born and raised in Cali, right? Okay. How did your mom get to Seattle?
My dad got to Seattle.
Okay. So then you guys, on the split?
Yeah, my dad's brother lives out in Seattle. So when my mom and dad divorced, my dad went to Seattle.
And your mom stayed in Cali the whole time?
I stayed in Cali. Okay. I was with them. I still with my mom.
Right.
So I was getting in trouble in school because mom and dad separated.
Right.
And I wanted to have my way. See, so when they separated, before dad went to Seattle, dad used to just pick me up. I used to take my school Fridays in my backpack, and he'll pick me up after school and then drop me off.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
basic split up.
Yeah.
So tell me, that would happen around when you were like 12, 13 years old. Tell me something good that happened around like 7 or 8, somewhere around there, if you can remember. Just something good, something that you would think like, like, because I think we take for granted some of those memories of when we were kids, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we, as addicts, I remember, I talked to my sister a lot about it, and, I remember my childhood was messed up, bro. So I can't tell you that, you know what I'm saying? And what I like to hear, I love hearing these stories, and I know that's the reason I wanted to do this, was to share that, that there is hope for people out there, you know what I mean? But at the same time, what I want to do different than I see a lot of people doing on these podcasts is not just sit here and grind on these messed up memories, bro. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense to you? I think it'd be good to hear something good, Mark. You know what I'm saying?
7 or 8, I can say there was good memories, Mark.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, good memories with my mom. I think, I can't really, good memories the only time when I lived with my dad. So from 10 to 13.
Okay.
That was the only good memory. The 3-year old.
So was things bad in the home, is what I'm saying?
Yeah, things were bad at the home, Mom. Mom always going out, different dudes coming in, it still hurts me, seeing, man, Mark just taking my mom out with my dad. My mom, you know, it was funny because when they separated, my dad loved my mom so much. My mom divorced my dad because of alcoholism and stuff, you know. He was never a domestic violent dude, never hit my mom. It was just the drinking. She didn't like drinking. So my dad loved my mom so much that from that age, from 10 to 13, that good time with my dad, my mom, I remember dropping her off at the nightclubs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Never really had anything good up to this point where
Right.
Mark.
And your mom's in your life now.
Oh man,
And I've met your mom. She's super awesome.
she's so
But people change. People change. That's, you know what I mean?
people change exactly. People change. I change. My mom is awesome, man. She's my bread and butter as it.
Yeah, yeah, she's there for you.
She's on the 18. She's
And-
swearing.
And I didn't mean to fill no scabs. You know what I'm saying? But you're good. But my point to this was, and I'll share with you. My point to this was this. You know, I think about things like when I was a kid. You know, and I tell my sister all the time. She's my sister-in-law. She was married to my brother that I lost, and so she's been in my life and known me for 40 years, bro, since I was a kid. And when she met my brother, we were living out the back of a car. And I used to go to school living in the back of a car, bro. And I remember if it wasn't for my brother literally making sure we had a bottle of water to brush our teeth with, I can't tell you great memories when I was a kid. So, you know, I can sit back and if you were to interview me and sit here and tell you when my addiction started, I would have probably jumped around there too, 12, 13. But I want the people to know, you know, and I'm going to do this with all the interviews, you know, I want the people to know that's where your addiction started. But, you know, we have to, and I worked this part of the program when I went through one of these big programs that I really feel changed my life, which was this program out here in Colorado called Pier 1. And they made me work a lot of the stuff that, you know, the stuff that happened when I was a kid, because, you know, we can say, oh, well, I started smoking weed when I was 12. I started smoking weed when I was 6 or 7, you know, but you know, I didn't have a great kid, you know, childhood. And that's why I asked you, you know, I had a feeling that there was a little more depth to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when we're kids and when we're going through stuff, you know, there's pain and pain as children, we stuff that. That's what I'm a firm believer. You know, I'm by far no psychologist or counselor to sit here and counsel. I can only tell you, I know what I know through my experience and through having hundreds of friends that are addicts, you know, and recovered addicts. So I know that there's always more to it. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's another big thing that we all have in common is we tend to stuff and then we don't deal with it. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, for me, when I asked you that, that's why I got a little emotional myself, is because I always know and I'm listening to your story, but you're telling me the story of your addiction, but I know that there has to be something, because, you know, at no point did you bring up and be like, you know, when I remember this, because people that are like super excited about their past, you know, when they were, you know, hey, our life was great until this happened. Oh, you never said that. You know what I mean? To you, it happened. The divorce happened. So, you know, obviously I stuck with that. I listened to your story, and in my mind is inside, I'm saying, hey, you know, what led to that divorce? So something happened to them to get people divorced. Nobody just says, hey, I think I want a divorce today. Nobody does that. You know what I mean? Shit leads up to that. And who suffers? The kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you were a kid. You were a kid. You know what I mean? You and your brother. And you guys had to deal with that shit, you know? And I think that's why I wanted to dig that. And I kind of village on the backside of that one, but I knew that, you know, that's the big thing is, you know, we all have trauma from that, and it's good to get that out and deal with that in some way or form, shape or form. You know what I'm saying? And even some of these other podcasts that I hear from other people with these addiction things, they get up there and then they say these stories, and you know, I started using when I was 15, and you know, going to parties, and it's fine and dandy, but I think, you know, what the meat and potatoes are, you know, what we're serving our kids.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
You know, what we want our children to be, we need to, even in recovery, I think we need to be these parents and be vigilant of what we're doing in front of our children. Does that make sense? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, if you were a kid and your mom and dad weren't fighting and going through the stuff they were going, you had great memories that maybe they were just arguing and and they weren't putting hands on, they weren't screaming, they were just always arguing, and they were like, I don't want to deal with this stuff. You know what I mean? And they just separated. Your story would be different, I feel. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would be like, I don't really know why they separated. They just couldn't get along, or whatever the case may be. But when you're sitting here, and we're really close in age, you know what I mean? I know, like, when I was a kid, my mom partied. Those were the eras of partying, man. The 80s and the early 80s and the late 70s, boy, they were my aunties and my mom and everybody and my family, they were just out there partying, bro. It wasn't that kids didn't matter. It just was a different era.
Yeah.
But we suffered, you know what I mean? As as young children.
Oh yeah.
So, not to bring it off the subject, but this is why I just wanted to, this being our first episode, I wanted that to be the thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to end this, and I want to tell you I appreciate you.